Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. We know that Keir Starmer had to back down, had to walk back his proposed imposition of the winter fuel cuts on pensioners and to offer it up as a vote. This, of course, was a sop to his own party, not to the opposition. If it was just the opposition, he'd have just callously looked down and said, no, we're happy to kill the old people. But there were so many people within his own party calling for this to be reversed that he has taken the middle ground. He won't back down. He expects it to go through. He expects his loyalists to still vote for it, but it has at least gone to a vote. That will really annoy him. He doesn't like the idea of a vote because it means he could lose, and then people would realise that he's just an ineffectual, lazy, useless, pointless, charmless oik of a PM, which of course they'd be absolutely right about because that's exactly what he is. But it has of course gone to this vote, and the vote will be next week. Now there's a lot of Labour rebels, and these Labour rebels are very angry. They're very angry about the winter fuel payment being cut. They feel it is a bad move, both actually being a bad move, but also potentially being perceived as Labour harming the elderly to pay rise the ASLEF, for example. They're saying the optics are, to put it bluntly, bloody awful. And they'd be right about that. But they are, apparently, and there's quite a few of them, they are prepared to rebel, to vote against their own government, even at the risk of having the whip removed, and in extremis, even at the risk of being thrown out of the party, because there are people within the party who have had the whip removed for previous rebellions, who are prepared to rebel on this and vote against. And they've been told that if they vote against, they will be thrown out of the Labour Party. They will immediately become independents. That is not good for the Labour Party because it just reduces their majority. And it all depends on how many rebel. If it fails to carry, if Parliament votes against it, Keir Starmer, I feel, would have no option but to resign. Because this isn't just a Prime Minister losing a vote. This is a Prime Minister dividing his own party and losing the vote. This would be a confidence matter within Labour. And he would go. He would have to go. And even if he chose not to, I think there would be a no confidence motion raised, certainly at the conference. Is it next week or the week after next? Very soon, anyway. And that, of course, would mean he'd go. It would automatically uplift the Deputy Prime Minister to Prime Minister. And then the whole of the country goes, God, we thought we had it bad before. But hopefully she won't last long because even people within her own party realise that she is a complete buffoon. She's an idiot. So she would sit there, oh, praise me. Oh, look, I'm a Prime Minister. What do you mean I'm fired? Another coup d'etat, and she'd be gone in weeks. But we know that the ministers responsible, Rachel Reeves, Starmer, Home Secretary and all his little coterie of hangers-on, of lickspittles, of arse-kissers, they are all out there trying to bully and cajole and threaten MPs, Labour MPs, into voting for this slaughter of the elderly. And they're also trying to convince the public. And I think they're really misreading the room. The public are, by and large, very much against doing this. But they're trying to convince the public that it's the right thing to do, as they're handing junior doctors 22% pay rises and already rich train drivers 14% pay rises. And it's not as though they don't have the money, as they're handing 11 billion over to foreign countries to help them with climate change. And if that doesn't sound like a money laundering operation, I don't know what does. So I don't think the people of Britain will be convinced entirely that it's the right thing to do when this government is wanking millions abroad for no benefit whatsoever to this country. Meanwhile, old people go and slaughtered. But a lot of backbenchers, of course, are not happy. They see what will happen? They see that they will be out on their arse at the next election. It's their jobs, it's their livelihoods, it's gone. And I think for many, it's already gone. It's already past that point. They've already hit the tipping point and they know it's all downhill from here. It doesn't matter what happens with the Labour Party now. They're finished. And so a lot of these backbenchers, they sort of remain, it's the term remain to be convinced, which is the polite way of saying there is never a chance in hell that they're going to vote for this. They want to keep their job. A lot of the party insiders are saying that it's a very dangerous moment for Keir Starmer. They can't call it on the vote. It's that close. He may well lose. And as I say, that immediately would be a confidence matter for the Labour Party. And then he'd be gone. And with him, hopefully, Rachel Reeves. Whoever comes in has got to fire her and put in someone who's not evil. Who knows? We're 6 days away. Harold Wilson, of course, famously said that a week is a long time in Parliament. I suggest 6 days, yeah, it's still a fairly long time in Parliament. And there's people in there who are determined to vote no, regardless of how many threats they receive. They just cannot abide what's happening. One of the problems, of course, Keir Starmer's got is he's not a very charming man. People don't like him. People in his own party don't like him. He was the electoral face, and now people see how bad it is. And they're looking for any route to get rid of him. And if they can break him on a vote, that's the route to oust Starmer. And that's the only one they've got, really. And so this will be his hill to die on. Quite literally, it's his political career. His political career is over if he loses this vote. And so he's pushing. He's got the whips out. He's got the big boys out. They're bullying people in corridors. They're grabbing people in corridors. And they're telling them, you must do this. And there's a lot of them are saying, you can FRO. I disagree with this totally. And if I'm suspended, so be it. And he really doesn't know what to do. He could go on a charm offensive. But in his case, there'd be no charm and it would all just be offensive. That's what happens. I know that there's a lot of Red Wall, Northern MPs particularly, who are adamant they're not voting for it. They just say, we can't. We're already in a poverty area. We cannot heap this on others. It's going to be a hard week. And I hope at the end of it, the Labour backbenchers vote the right way, break Starmer, force the no confidence and get him out. He may have outlasted Liz Truss, but only by half a cabbage. Thanks a lot. Bye.